Live from Fort Worth, welcome race fans, one and all, back to Green Flag TV, where this afternoon we are set to duke it out once again from the Lone Star State. Welcome to Fort Worth, Texas, and to the Texas Motor Speedway. Good afternoon, my name is Ola Rambo, bringing you all of racing action from start to finish for race 4 of the For the Boys Racing League. It's the Texas 250, 167 laps around the 2009 legacy scan of TMS, and boy, what a race this one is hyped up to be this afternoon. In my opinion, the older Texas scan more superior than modern day Texas any day of the weekend, just about every single way. The banking is high, the surface is bumpy, everything that made Atlanta such a thrilling race is right here, right now in 2009, and ready to go out of here once again. Of course, the weather going into this afternoon, 98 degrees Fahrenheit down there on the racing surface, so should look to be a relatively calm day this afternoon, at least by track temp standards. What won't be calm is going to be, of course, the wind. The wind speed, 13 to 14 miles an hour, blowing up to the south-southwest. What drivers are contending with here this afternoon, and that is going to be, I think, a ride would be the best way to put it. It's going to be an experience getting drivers up and working out here this afternoon. Well, we got ourselves here with this grid, 17 cars strong. Just about to rumble out here this afternoon. We'll take a look at the championship standings into racing action here this afternoon, as it is going to be the likes of one Aaron Smith right now standing on the top of the points boards for PT Autosport with 365 points over John Nichols back in number 2. John Nichols not present this afternoon. He is being held up at the airport. Matt Press situated back in third with Yingling in fourth, Campbell in fifth. Now, one thing you may have noticed, the points look a little bit different than they did exiting last week. That is because, of course, we have begun to drop races. So the way this works, the worst result from every single race of your season gets dropped. So one result will get dropped in the season. That race will change as time goes along, and hence why we see a wildly different points grid here this afternoon, with Aaron Smith still very much atop the boards with a 25-point gap over Nichols, and that gap looking set to extend this afternoon, as John Nichols right now is not present. Matt Press, meanwhile, looking to see if he can't challenge Smith at the top spot, but with a 30-point gap, it's a long way to make up. But again, you can score 185, 190 points at max song here at a place like this in this championship. So it's going to make it a bit of an interesting ride as drivers get set to see who's going to be starting where throughout the course of the afternoon. Of course, if you are just tuning in, we are very happy that you're joining us and spending your Sunday nights with us here on Green Flag TV, whether you be watching the Blazing Pedals ARCA Series with the Charlotte Motor Speedway or the For the Boys Racing League with some Car of Tomorrow action here from Texas Motor Speedway. No doubt, no matter what show you're in for, you are in for a good one here this afternoon. Just 20 seconds left here in qualifying before the race will get back underway this afternoon, as we are just approaching the end of our 10-minute qualifying sessions. Big thanks again to Elite Performance Industries, EPI, of course, helping to keep the For the Boys Racing League going on a week-to-week basis. And were it not for their support, we likely would not be covering this series. So a big thank you to them for helping us bring on board and bring you something new than the usual Gen 7 or ARCA action that we tend to get throughout most of the other days in the week. But with qualifying all wrapped up, it's time to take a rundown on who's going to be starting where when we go racing once again down at Texas Motor Speedway. So started on pole position then, it's going to be the likes of Aaron Smith for PT Autosport alongside Brandon Marr. The EPI number 51 will also start alongside in his Chevy Impala on the front row. Row number 2, it's going to be the likes of Jason Dalton bringing it up down in third with Ken Campbell back in number 4. As the field continues to slip their way further down the field, it's going to be the likes of Chris Stitz making his first start of the For the Boys Racing League in the Frostfire Insulation number 17 Impala. He'll start alongside Larry Yingling in the Charger down in number 6. And already just a tenth and a half still off of the pole times. Closing out the top half of the field is going to be Chuck Sweden alongside Matt Press. The number 75 Impala lines up alongside the EPI Charger for number 99. Row number 5 then this afternoon. Brewing it up for the likes of Jonathan Evans for the RacePI.com, number 26, alongside Diego Sainz down in number 10. in his 44 entry. Row number 6 is going to be Brandon Burkhardt alongside Matt Telder, number 8 and number 1 starting 11th and 12th. In that case, row number 7 will hold the likes of Cameron Ingram and Daniel Moynihan in 13th and 14th. The Subaru will be starting down in that 14th place spot, almost a second out for the leaders. Row 18, it's going to be Donald Castillo alongside Colin Savage. And closing out the field then, on the back of the grid, it's the Budweiser Charger of Edwin Letolf to bring up the tail of the field this afternoon. So the field just getting set to roll on out here this afternoon as the IRC pace car gets set to lead this field around for the one and only lap they'll have before they go back to green flag racing here this afternoon. Hedge your bets. This race, no doubt, bound to be won full of strategy. Do not expect much in the caution window here this afternoon. I expect for this race to go down solely on the lap counter here this afternoon. And again, a absolutely stellar race is what we are geared up for as these guys lined up and ready to rumble out. Once again, Aaron Smith, as he has for pretty much every race this season, he will start this race from pole position. Tell you what, it'll look to be a good one here this afternoon as Smith, this time he starts up front. He won't have to fight his way up there. And what will he be able to do from pole position? The field's going to work their way into the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. It's go, go, go from Texas. Well, Brandon Marr wasting absolutely no time and jumping out to the head of this field as he takes off down to the turn numbers 1 and 2. The field behind, still double file from third on back. Larry Yingling trying to fight back as Ken Campbell hunts down the inside of him. Back around turn numbers 3 and 4. Everyone's still packed up under a blanket. Smith is fading and quickly as Yingling shoots through for the number 2 spot. Campbell, meanwhile, side by side. Press already up 4 in the opening 2 laps here this afternoon. Fastest lap of the day, put down by Larry Yingling with a 30.171 this afternoon. Cruising around in the turn numbers 3 and 4 this time by, and it's single file throughout the whole field, except backwards to the field for Donald Castillo. Edwin Letolf at the back of the grid, one of the only drivers that didn't put down a qualifying lap. He's just made up 2 as he fights around Savage and Castillo. He is now up in the 15th, and he's not looking to stop there. Matt Press currently riding on board with the EPI machine, this is on board with Ken Campbell here as he looks back toward Chris Stitz. Matt Press just a little ways up the road, seeking to overtake Aaron Smith. He's got to run. He's going to look to the inside. And an early break for Aaron Smith will put Matt Press up and into third. Smith now trying to look to go around the long way. Campbell going to fight down to the bottom. And now what could Chris Stitz do? Stitz gets shut down. He seeks to charge after Chris Stitz here. No joy this time by. Smith continues to hang on to a top 5. One driver that is on the move, Jonathan Evans, looking like he wants to go down the inside of Stitz. And that won't pan out the way he thinks, or will it? Hold on here. Chris Stitz has the outside line on Aaron Smith, and he's trying to go back around him. All the way up to the outside wall for the number 17. Can he get around the top side of the PT Autosport Yellow Vision number 70? Looking like he is going to do just that. Stitz breaks through on the back straightaway. And now Yingling trying to go down the inside of Brendan Marr. A lot of smoke on the back straightaway. I think Matt Tellner, you saw him tumble down the order. Tellner may have had a spin. We'll look at that in just a moment. For now, Marr under fire from Yingling. We'll take a look back. This is what happened to Telder coming out of turn number 4 as, oh boy, kicked the tail end out. Hang on to her, Cowboy. Does a great job to wrangle that beast back underneath him. Take a ride on board with Telder with this one. Gather up, keeps it off the inside wall, and we stay green. Up and down through the field, everyone remains tightly packed, nose to tail. No one has been able to break away from anybody just yet, including race leader Brendan Marr. He may have been pulling for Matt Press, but Larry Yingling has really been looking to run him down. Now look to the inside as Edwin Latolf tries to fight back against Cameron Ingram. He's going to stick her down to the bottom side of the racetrack, and Ingram can't do much about it. Latolf sending her down to the inside of Ingram, looking to pick up the spots of 13th. And he is through. Riding on board with Larry Yingling as Yingling wants to go here. Trying to close to the back of Brendan Marr. You see how much he's already kicking that tail end out, trying to chase down the EPI number 51. A look behind, meanwhile, Jonathan Evans looking to go around Aaron Smith. But again, when everybody here is just packed up so tight with one another, it becomes so difficult to make any of these moves stick. There you see Ken Campbell trying to keep Chris Stitz at bay. This is the battle for 4th, and is Stitz? Thought he might have that look down to the inside. He's not, but how about this? Jonathan Evans pulls the trigger on Smith. And the Digital Productions number 26 gets around Smith. Further down the field, the Subaru's in trouble. Daniel Moynihan trying to track up and around. Meanwhile, the number 8 of Brandon Burkhardt just behind. Try for an offensive move that didn't work. That's opened up the door for Edwin Latolf to go down the inside. Latolf now up 5 on the day. He ties up the press for most spots gained so far. And Brandon Burkhardt having a time of it as he tries to fight back Cameron Ingram. Oh, one car hard into the wall. That is Castillo. that has just caught the fence. Thought I saw some right front damage. It looks like got a bit lucky with that, though. Back towards the front, Jonathan Evans and Chris Stitz. Side by side, Stitz has to lift, and Evans is going to sneak through into fifth. He clears. Evans now looking to have an attack. Further in the background, Brandon Burkhardt with the moment, as he's going to lose a bunch of spots. Diego Sainz now seeking to open up the door on Chris Stitz, as Stitz maintains his run up high, nearly gets into the wall. Sainz holds the inside. Trying to power through on the bottom of the battle for number 6. But again, it gets hard to pass and to get deeper to the runs like this, just like we saw at Atlanta Motor Speedway earlier this season. And just like at Atlanta, Stitz is able to pull the outside and clear him. Not for long, though, because Diego Sainz wants to go back down the inside. Meanwhile, Smith breaks around Chuck Sweeting. Is Smith's long run pace started to come in a little bit here? We know how good Smith can be on the long run of these races. We've seen him win by a good bit before. Or at least be in the lead by good, but we have not yet seen him win since Daytona. He's always had something go awry. First was the 48, sniping the win away from him with about 5 to go in Atlanta. Then last week, it was a pit strategy that caught Smith out. Could today be his time to go back to victory lane? He goes down the inside of Stitz. He's into 6th. Next targets up the road, Ken Campbell and Jonathan Evans. Boy, Brandon Marr has been really pulling away with the lead of this race. He is now almost a second clear from his teammate Matt Press. Well, Larry Yingling corking the bottle here. Jonathan Evans trying to go around the outside. Ken Campbell trying to follow him through. Aaron Smith, can he line up a pass and continue the freight train around the top? From behind, Diego Sainz gonna fight his way around Chris Stitz. And now Aaron Smith's on the move. He finally pulls the trigger on Campbell. Not wanting to waste time as he fights around the inside of Campbell and starts to drive back towards the front. Edward Latolf, meanwhile, also going to get around Daniel Moynihan. Oh, Moynihan, a bit of a twitch at the tail end. He'll gather it up and we put eyes back up front towards this fight for third on back. From third down to ninth, not one car is separated by more than 0.3 of a second. Donna Castillo gets a run on Brandon Burkhardt, shoots down for the inside. He's getting a look to make the move. All the while, Chuck Sweeting gets around Larry Yingling. This was this pass. As he just went down the inside of turn 3 like it was nothing. And then seconds later, Aaron Smith making a move on Jonathan Evans for third. This was down the front straight into the quad oval. Not an easy move to make by any stretch of the imagination. You go side by side for that quad oval. Sure, it looks easy from the outside, but on the inside, boy, that quad oval is tighter than you think. Case in point, let's ride on board through the helmet of Diego Sainz. As he chases after Larry Yingling, you'll see exactly what I mean. When everything starts to kind of cluster in around you, and it doesn't look so wide now, does it? Quite a bit of that can often be in a driver's head, especially with how the track arcs, as does the racing line. You kind of think you have more room than you do, and vice versa. That's often what leads to those crashes in the quad oval, and it's also why crashes in the quad oval tend to be among some of the more major wrecks you'd see at tracks like Charlotte, like Texas, like Atlanta. Aaron Smith has got that long run pace dialed in. He's going to get around Matt Press for second. Next target, Brendan Marr for the lead. It's part of the thrill about watching Smith race. You can really get an idea of how he saves tires and when he really starts to push. There you see Ken Campbell getting around Jonathan Evans and Chuck Sweeting looking to do the same. So two new drivers into the top 5. One of them returning as Campbell started in 4th. But kind of touching in a little bit more on Aaron Smith. I mean, he really knows how to go about saving his tires and when to really push. We see him a lot in several different races. That's why he is so good in races that go long, why he's so hard to beat. He's a bit easier to beat if a race has a stop-start nation. I think that's why he hasn't won more at places like the High Tide Racing and Gardner Vermeer Series. He is looking, though, to pad his winning streak a little bit with some wins here in the For the Boys Racing League, and that is especially made true as he tries to run down race leader Brandon Marr. The two of them only separated by about 0.4 of a second. This is a gap that has been steadily closing over the last little while. As you see, reel him in by about average out to about 1/10.5 a lap. Smith's been reeling him in, really showing just how much tires he was saving in the early going. Donna Castillo with issues as he was slow. And Jason Dalton, oh no, Jason Dalton with a meatball flag. Dalton is going to go sliding into the infield, gets down onto the apron. He's able to gather her up, and we won't get a caution for this. Big issues for Jason Dalton. We'll look at what happened to him in a moment. For now, Aaron Smith all over the back bumper of Brandon Marr, looking for the lead. Smith looking to maybe put in the clutch a little bit as well. Trying to save a bit of fuel while he's at it. Yeah, right there, you can hear him putting in that clutch, so he's not looking to go for the overtake. I think he's maybe proved the point to himself, yeah, I can do this. Now he's looking to save and maybe set himself up for an end-of-the-race strategy. And as I say that, there he goes, down to the inside. Trying to make that look for the lead, and he is going to do it. Aaron Smith clears. Not quite. Never mind. Brandon Marr fighting back. He is not saving, by the way. Aaron Smith is. So Smith's putting in the clutch, but Brandon Marr is not saving fuel. Jason Dalton has cleared his meatball flag, and he's going to get back out onto the racetrack. He only fixed the damage that was required, but you can see just how much that side, especially on the right side, look at how much that is scuffed in, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's got some steering damage still. He's continuing with trouble back straightaway. Telder has gone around. He is going to go into the inside wall. So have a few things to look at here. We'll start you with what happened to Jason Dalton. Oh, man, just lost it on the back straightaway entering turn number 3, and that's what caused him to go pounding into the fence. And now Matt Telder comes down pit road because he's at this moment on the back straightaway. Well, that is already in progress. We'll back that up a little bit more, see if he had some help. And help, he did not. Spun that all by himself. Fishtail towards the outside wall, grazes it, and spins her back down to the inside and goes right into the concrete. Now, no caution for either incident. And critically for Telder, no meatball flag. He's able to get 4 tires on it and send her back out. Press trying to battle around Brandon Marr as each looks to chase down Aaron Smith. There is Telder just leaving pit road, putting the 3 wide for a moment, and the teammates are double filed into turn 3. Telder going to make quick work because he's going to pull out in front. Meanwhile, Ken Campbell and Chuck Sweeting now going to go side by side. Sweeting lunges for the inside of Campbell. Diego Sainz and the 17 entry of Chris Stintz are both going to be down to pit road. So is Brandon Marr. So good chunk of drivers now looking to come down pit road. Pit road about to be busy. Here comes Colin Savage down to the lane. While around the outside goes Aaron Smith, still staying on the racetrack and logging laps. He is trying to push that run as far as he possibly can. Moynihan, Castillo both come down to pit road. Still waiting on the top 8 to all come down to box. There you see the current pit stop times on the left-hand or right-hand side of the scoring tower. You'll see Burkhart, Letov, Yingling, Evans, Sweeting, Campbell, Press, or Smith have not been down pit road just yet. And they're not looking to pit anytime soon either. These guys are going long on their stint, and if I'm these guys further behind, I might be a bit worried what these guys are trying to do. They're trying to cut out a pit stop here, trying to maybe make this a 2 or a 3 stop race. Everyone else going to go for either 3 or 4. Campbell fighting it out with Chuck Sweeting, as you just saw Brandon Marr go around, and Burkhart just now is into pit road. So you see Burkhart tumble down the order as he makes his stop. Will Sweeting try to get around Ken Campbell right now is a question. He's been making a little looks every so often, but he just has not been able to realistically run him down yet. Jason Dalton finally out of pit road after an extensive 4-minute stop. Gaining the rest of his damages repair. That has put him now 11 laps down, and Sweeting is through on Campbell. Matt Press down pit road. And of course, the big question right now is where Brendan Marr will come out in relation to some of these drivers here. Take a look at the your track map down to the bottom right. The 3 drivers on track. That is Marr, that is Smith, that is Press, and Matt Press just left pit road significantly behind Brandon Marr. In fact, almost a half a lap behind Brandon Marr. And with Aaron Smith still having yet to come down to pit road and Marr having unlapped himself, Smith may very well be shooting himself in the foot here. But those 3 drivers on track were at one point battling for the net race lead. There you see Ken Campbell just leaving pit road. Smith now going on lap 52. Over 10 laps longer than some drivers of their pit stops, like Cameron Ingram. You can see the relation on when drivers came down to pit road, and you'll all of a sudden understand why some drivers like Matt Press and Ken Campbell have dropped so far behind Marr, Sainz, Ingram, and more. Boy, the strategy game has come alive here in TMS, hasn't it? I mean, these guys know how to put on a strategy race, and when you get to cars like the COT that can be so hard to pass, and when you get a driver on equal footing, then you got to use strategy to get a leg up in the game. Well, we'll continue to wait to see if Aaron Smith potentially reel these guys in. In the meantime, we'll take a break and be back with more in a moment on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy. but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV as we got cars into pit road. The number 9 of Edward Latolf, the latest taker down to the pits. The top 3, Aaron Smith, Chuck Sweeting, and Larry Yingling, all have still not come down for their first stops here on the night. Now pushed in some cases up to 13 to 17 laps deeper than most other drivers in this field. And finally, Smith is forced to make that trip in. Took a while, but he has finally managed to find the mark as he brings it down to pit road. He is not the only one. Chuck Sweeting, Larry Yingling are in just behind him. So the field making their way out of pit road here this afternoon as the field is going to get set to fight it out once again. And finally, everyone has come down pit road for the first time tonight, and now we can really see who's where. Savage and Yingling 1 lap down. Aaron Smith, after being in the race lead prior to coming down to pit road, and keep in mind, he took that lead based on long run pace. He is now down to 7th and 18 seconds back from Brendan Marr. But of course, with 16 lap pressure tires, he is going to be significantly quicker than Marr as well. Here's a good chunk of cars all packed up under a blanket. Matt Telder, Daniel Moynihan, Brandon Burkhardt, all drivers on significantly older tires. Trying to go around. Telder's going to get turned. Sliding sideways in turn 4. Hang on to her, buddy. Now he gets hit again and is into the outside wall. Caution is out for the first time tonight. A rough way to start this race, and boy, Telder is lucky that wasn't worse because he was about to go down a lap with Brandon Marr right behind him. Brandon Marr will come down to pit road. We'll look at what happened to Telder in just a moment here. Well, what this does, this is going to reset the whole field effectively on their strategy and throw everything into the bin. Field makes their way back out onto the racetrack, and we'll take a look back what happened to Telder here. Daniel Moynihan tries to look down the inside into turn number 3. Thought he had more of a hole than he did. Almost looked like he got him arrow loose. He was chasing that car all the way through 4. Thought for a moment he had it. He probably would have had it. But right there, Chuck Sweeting tags him again, trying to avoid. That sends Telder into the safer barrier and around. And Tabuda's just been given a black flag as well. That is unfortunate, to put it mildly. This is with Sweeting. Ah, right there, man. I mean, come on. So close, yet so far. Well, the field is getting set to go back at it once again, so the field enters the restart zone, and the green flag is back in the air. Whoa, look out already! Matt Press is going to go spinning to the inside, right back into traffic, heads up. So, there's the caution. I was wondering where it was. Second yellow flag coming out quickly with this one. Tough way to get started on that restart. This is why that one came out. Just tried to go 3 wide as the outside lane Chet got into Campbell down to Diego Sainz, and I gotta be honest, I think Press did that to himself. Boy, look at Aaron Smith down to the inside, doing a good job to lock it down. Right back up the racetrack into traffic. That is what is going to force a caution flag pretty much immediately as Burkhart escapes around him. This is what Aaron Smith saw. Good job. So this will bring a few more of them down to pit road. Daniel Moynihan among them. Starting this week, there's a $50 prize, specifically a raffle being given out based on qualifying times. Moynihan won that raffle by luck of starting in 14th. Why not? Let's give a chat here to the driver of the number 53. Daniel, Nola Rebel up here in the broadcast booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you may have started 14th, but on the plus side, that does net you $50 today. How does that feel?
Yeah, no, it feels pretty good. I was chatting with one of the guys. I'm like, I'm just, I'm here to drive the car. I mean, these things are a blast to drive. But yeah, I mean, $50 is always is always great.
So with that kind of set in mind, do you reckon with this kind of quick second caution here, not just you're on cycle with the rest of the leaders, you can get out there and make up some more spots?
That's what I'm hoping. I made some adjustments to hopefully tighten up the car just a little bit. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more manageable on exits, and hopefully I can keep the tires on it for long enough to make up some spots. But yeah, that's the plan for sure.
All right, well, we'll wish you the best of luck out there on the restart. Good luck.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Moynihan comes home right now in 13th when he looks to take this start back. As we work the back straightaway, ready to go at it again. Feel good at cruising to turn numbers 3 and 4 this time by. As once again, we'll be set to restart this race. Telder still with a black flag to serve. Sweetie with the lead. Sweeting jumps. We're back to green. Side by side, all the way back through the field as Chris Stitz trying to go back around Brendan Mars. Sweeney with the oldest tires in the field so far. They are 11 laps old, but most of the laps we've turned over the last 10 have been under caution. So I'd say Sweeney doesn't have to worry too much just yet. Back into 3 and 4 and down the front straightaway. We still have not hit the halfway point yet either, as Donald Castillo and Brandon Burkhart going at it. How about Brandon Marr resetting fastest lap of the race right as he catches up to the back of Chuck Sweeting. Marr going to look for the inside. He is going to go for the top spot. And he will take it in spades. Back behind, Diego Sainz attacking Chris Stitz. This one is for third. And yet another change in the podium spots as Sainz in the course number 44 looking to make himself a new challenger for the top spot. Sainz right now one of the big movers on the day. He is in the top 3, has gone up 7, same as Colin Savage. The only one that has beaten both of them is Edwin Latouf, who is up 9 after starting at the back of the field. And don't look now, but Aaron Smith started to charge his way through as well. So Smith gonna look for the inside. Savage trying to see if he can't fight back. But instead of being able to fight back, he's got Matt Press to deal with. Press takes the spot away. Larry Yingling cuts off the nose of Brandon Burkhart as he tries to snake back through. And that 13 to Savage is fading quickly. He started this race back in 16, then he's going to be right back where he started if he can't find some pace. So Campbell, Stitz, Evans, and Moore, all of these guys still under a blanket as they fight down the back straightaway. And they have been putting up a stellar fight so far. Just trying to keep together on the racetrack. I'm sure they are all very, very happy, though, with how this race has been panning out. There's the look as the 12th trying to go into double digits. Down the inside of Cameron Ingram. The 12th so far the hard charger of the day. And he's going to keep that streak going. He is now up 10 after starting in 17th. Ingram trying to get back to the bumper, not able to get there though. And again, he's got to worry because here comes Aaron Smith around the outside. And looking like Smith now going to get around Ingram up top. A long fight down the stretch, and Smith quickly looking to make up more. As this time he takes one away from Latolf. Smith still trying to claw his way back and regain lost time from earlier on in this race. Latolf, though, trying to put him back. Just not able to get the job done, though. Again, so difficult to pass in these cars at a place like this, but the racing we've had here has so far been amazing. Lots of strategy, lots of side-by-side, and I cannot wait until we get to do it all over again. Daniel Moynihan now, he's going to look to break clear of Brandon Burkhart. As we've got 83 laps on the boards. Matt Press, can he make a look towards the inside? Not able to get it just yet. How about Diego Sainz? What does Sainz have for sweeping up the road? Is he going to try to look low? Is he going to try to look high? The fight for number 2 is on. Oh, here we go. Jonathan Evans pulling the trigger on Chris Stintz. He's going to go down the inside, and Should we get a new driver into the cusp of the top 5? No! Stitz fends him off up top. Evans knows he needs to go because he's got Aaron Smith breathing down his neck. Especially as we now enter the second half of this race. It is amazing how these cars can look so planted yet so loose at the same time, if that makes any kind of sense. Evans slips clear. Stitz. Smith quick to follow through, causing Stitz to lose 2. And now if you're Smith, you might be thinking, all right, if you can try to clear a path for me, I'm willing to let you go for now. Now the question is, can Evans close in any on Ken Campbell, or will Smith lose patience with them? Brandon Martin at the front, continuing to pull clear by 1.3, behind the battle for second and third, still loose, separated by about 0.3 of a second. A quick change in hands for 10th as Yingling gets around Ingram. And now Smith is trying to go back at Jonathan Evans. Further behind, Matt Press, one of the front runners that used to be up near the head of the field. He's going to lose out to Larry Yingling. As Yingling going to hold on for 9th. Press just hasn't had a lot of the speed that we saw out of that Charger at the early stages of the race. He used to be fighting with the likes of Aaron Smith, but while Smith is moving up, it seems like Press is just on the backslide. Right behind them, Cameron Ingham and Daniel Moynihan, the winner of $50 of the qualifying raffle, as well as the driver that primarily brought out our first yellow of the night. Trying to get around Cameron Ingram. Ingram is just half of the door, leaned on him by Moynihan through turns 1 and 2. They were able to more or less gather her up and putting on a fight for the duo right now, as these two gonna scrap their way back down to the turn 1 again. Daniel Moynihan gonna look for the inside on Ingram. Ingram, though, able to clear him. He's looking, though. He's probing. He's going to send her again. Right down to the bottom of turn number 3. Trying to clear up this time. Can he get the job done? Doesn't look like it. He has gotten clear. They'll fight it out. Meanwhile, Sainz is losing time. Campbell's through to third. Smith's about to be through for fourth. And I think Sweeting, Campbell, and Mars tires have just started to drop away from them. As a quick fight for third started to pick up in spades. Looking around at the turn numbers 1 and 2. There's Chuck Sweeting up the road. Brandon Marr not even in shot still. He is 2 seconds up. Aaron Smith looking to put Ken Campbell out of a podium. And he is going to do just that. Smith gets through. Campbell tucks in line between Smith and Evans, but Evans going to make short work of him as well. Smith going to get through on Sweeting. And now nothing stands between Aaron Smith and chasing down Brandon Marr. Up front, Chuck Sweeting continuing to hemorrhage positions as Jonathan Evans looking to skate through as well. Evans is loose. Sweeting will get back around the outside of him as Jonathan Evans really kicked the tail out and had to chase it down to the apron to get it back underneath him. That could allow Chris Diss to have an attack. Not going to go anywhere for him, while Latouf will get around Diego Sainz. On board with the back of Jonathan Evans as Chris Stitz looks to try and find a way around him. But boy, it is not as easy as it looks. Diego Sainz going to be hitting pit road. He is the first driver to do so. So the 44 entry is in. Ken Campbell continues to be a cork in the bottle. Jonathan Evans once again trying to go around the inside of him. And yet again, it doesn't look like he'll be able to. As much as Sweeting is holding Evans up, he's got enough pace to be able to keep that 26 car behind. So the field continues to go at it one after another, one by one. So far, still single file. But once again, Brandon Marr is about to find himself under some hefty fire from Aaron Smith. Again, the gap has been coming down very convincingly We're talking over a quarter of a second as of 2 laps ago. That gap came down to 10th and a half the lap after. We'll see what it comes down this time, but that gap is now within a second, and Smith is continuing to chip more and more out of Brandon Marr. Smith's long run pace has been impeccable all night long, and unless something else happens, there's nothing to stop him from taking that lead and running away with this race. He's got a quarter of a second chipped out of him this time by. Meanwhile, Jonathan Evans and Chuck Sweeting gonna finally get themselves sorted out as Evans finds a way around Sweeting. Gets around to the 4th. Matt Press down the inside of Edward Latov as well. So Press finding some long run pace as well. While Colin Savage is into the box. Aaron Smith, when does he look to make that move? He is within 0.3 of a second, and the gap continues to close. Smith gonna look high. Marr maintaining his run down low. He's gonna go around the outside. Outside doesn't work. He might try for the over-under, and that's exactly what he's gonna try to do. Back to the inside, this time by for Brandon Marr. Marr up top, Smith down low. Trying to pull clear out of turn number 4. Marr's into the wall, and Smith gonna take the lead with 59 to go. Aaron Smith with a beautiful crossover at turn 2 that last time by. And now once again, we start to close on the point where you can go the end on fuel. Remember, on his first stint, Smith made it about 50 laps. He's on lap 42 of this stint now. If he can make it to about 52 to go, he can go the distance on one tank. So right now, it's a massive fuel strategy game that is at play right now on this racetrack. Matt Press is looking to climb back through the order as Chris Stitz trying to get away from Edwin Latov. I can't stress it enough of what a good race this has been so far. Plenty to talk about, lots of great action from top to bottom. Good chunk of drivers in this cluster here are not on the same lap as one another. This is guys like Cameron Ingram who have just come down to pit road, unlapping themselves. Now the problem for guys like Ingram is they cannot go the distance. They have to come down to pit road one more time for a splash and go. So they are just gunning it, hoping that they can make up the time of an extra fuel stop on fresh rubber. Brendan Barr comes down pit road, 55 laps. I don't know about that one, Chief. I doubt you'll be able to do it. We'll use Aaron Smith as a comparison here. He did go 57 laps on that first stint, so in theory, you should be able to go the distance, but you got to save some fuel to do it, because Smith was put into the clutch and coasting. Castillo's also in. Stintz is in. When does Smith make the call? If I'm Smith, I'm just running that tank out dry and then filling it up with as much fuel as I can and just gassing it to the end. Burn that sucker up. He's got 3.6 seconds anyway on Ken Campbell, so he's got a lot of time that he can burn, especially since Campbell is in a fight with drivers behind him like Jonathan Evans and Chuck Sweeting. Oh, and don't forget Matt Press as well is now into fifth. Sweeting and Latolf going to both come down to pit road. Moynihan stays out for one more. Smith down the back straightaway meanwhile. Just trying to keep up. That's the gap between first and second. Smith not coming down pit road yet. He stays out. So does Campbell. So does everyone within the top five. Oh, into the wall, big time for Jonathan Evans. Matt Press ducks around him. So Press gonna get onto the podium as a result of that. Now look out, because you got traffic all around you on fresh rubber. Stitt's gonna go down low, and it looked like Colin Savage wasn't quite sure where to take that. Sweeting pulling down to the inside. Is this it? Is he coming to pit road? Or is he just kind of showing the way for Savage to go around the outside? No, he's coming in. And in fact, so has Aaron Smith. So Smith and Press into pit road. You can go from here to the end on fuel. It's just a question of can you save enough to make it? Ken Campbell now one of the last few contenders that we're waiting on that was in that leading battle that comes down to the pits, and it looks like he is coming now. Jonathan Evans going to get a chance to lead a lap. Brandon Marr going to dunk around. Cameron Ingram makes short work of him down in the turn number 4 on 12 lap pressure tires. So Smith is now out of pit road, and he is on some fresh rubber. Now the question is, again, can he run down the front runners? Jonathan Evans moves up high. Lets Larry Yingling get through, and I think that's an indication that Evans might be coming down to the pit road this time by. Evans still needs to pit as well. No, he stays out one more. So Yingling needs to pit, Evans needs to pit, and I believe Ingram and Sainz, and potentially Savage as well, will all need to pit one more time as well towards the end for fuel. Everyone else should be good to go the distance. Will they pit this time? No, one of them will. Yep, that's Jonathan Evans going down to pit road, and that shows not as easy as it looks getting that car woed up to get down to pit lane. So Jonathan Evans is down to the box. Larry Yingling continues to stay out, even as more cars unlap themselves. Aaron Smith already cutting back to the field. He is already back up to 6th, but he still has 19 seconds to make up on Yingling. That's going to be fine, though. He'll run that down when Yingling comes down to the pits. The guy who's really fighting at the moment is Brandon Marr. Brandon Marr, of course, the main driver that Smith is chasing. And there you can see the difference, the 51 and the 70. Both have quite a bit of work ahead of them. So Brandon Marr, the 51, right now leading the, running to the net race lead here as he comes down to the turn 3, and Smith is hitting turn 3 right around now. So he's about a whole quarter's worth behind Marr. That's a lot of time to make. It's a lot of ground to make up, but he's got time to do it. He's got 42 laps. So Brandon Marr right now, again, head of the field. And well, as you can see, Aaron Smith running down lap times significantly quicker than Brandon Marr. Yingling finally into the pits, and Smith within 5 seconds. He is right now closing by about half a second a lap. If he can continue up that pace, he'll catch Brandon Marr with about 20 to go. But how about Jonathan Evans with the fastest lap of the race so far, a 29.903. So after the pit stop cycle that we just had, the top 5 in points look a little something like this. Right now, Smith would still have the points lead. And I believe this is before factoring in the drop weeks. Or nope, actually, nope, correction. This would, I think, be with factored in the drop weeks. Matt Press would be able to gain a spot, despite being all the way back in 9th. Brandon Marr would jump 6 positions. It'd be a great day at the office for Marr. And if you can extend this back to show everybody from 6th on down. Well, how about Chuck Sweeting jumping up 7? So those are the live point standings as they run. Those are, of course, ever fluctuating with every spot that shifts on the racetrack. Chuck Sweeting and Chris Stitt's going to get themselves sorted. So one by one, drivers continue to scrap it out amongst themselves. A lot of time and effort still yet to be put into this race before the close of it. Jonathan Evans, Donald Castillo working the battle in 10th and 11th. So Diego Sainz and Ken Campbell, they'll continue to duke it out amongst themselves. Meanwhile, Brendan Marr, well, he's lost a lot more ground, Aaron Smith, than I was ever anticipating he would. As Smith looking to now get around Brendan Marr. He has been hard on the push. But now that he's reached him, he is kind of stalled. .33 laps on the docket, and the fight for the lead is on. Smith going to look to go around the outside. Now, will he commit to the high side, or is he going to try to go for the over-under? He's going to go for the over-under. He did this once already to secure the lead. He's going to do it again, just like earlier in the race, and Smith is through for the top spot. So Aaron Smith continues to lead. Meanwhile, Cameron Ingram, Diego Sainz, both in the pit road for their final stops of the night. And well, already Smith's gap is opening up to a gap that is nigh unbeatable. The only other driver on the same tires is Ken Campbell. And he is not matching the times needed to run down Smith by the end. Larry Yingling trying to go down the inside of Donald Castillo. He'll do so, steal away ninth. Curious to see if potentially Edwin Latouf might be under fire here pretty soon, as he's been losing quite a bit of ground to Ken Campbell. Goodness me, Campbell looking to be all over the back of Latouf before too long. The hard charger of the day, up 12. Still with a long distance to go in this one. So the battle continues on for the top five. Ken Campbell right behind Latouf, and by Matt Press's times, I'm willing to bet Press will not be too far behind either. So Campbell standing strong as Edwin Latouf tries to fight up and around. And this is a fight that's going to be down for the long haul. I'm going to bet probably right down to the end of this race. At least for Latouf, as he struggles to maintain at least a sixth place spot. But with Campbell being right there, I wouldn't be getting my hopes up if I was him. There goes Campbell. He's going to try for the high side. High side. He might find some speed. He's finding some speed here in 4. And he is. He's going to look to pull alongside down to the turn number 1. But forced to tuck back in line. Maybe for the over-under. There he goes. He's going to pull an Aaron Smith. Go high, then low, and eases through. Just like that. But Latov's not done fighting. Latov looking to fight back down to the inside. Oh, he really tried to go for the over-under. That didn't work, though. Matt Telder, black flagged on the way into pit road. He's been caught for speeding. Tough break for Telder as he was on the way in. Boy, talk about a rookie mistake, and well, I don't think he cared because he has taken a tow, so it looks like he had places to be, things to do. Figuring, what the heck. What's a black flag going to do to me if I'm already on my way out? So our second retirement of the day with 24 to go. Tell you what, Latov put up a fight. So the fight's going to continue to pick on up as we're going to find our way within 20 laps to go in this one. We're going to take ourselves a quick step back. When we return, racing action picks up again on Green Flag TV. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV as we continue to close out the laps. It's the back dozen or so from the For the Boys Racing League with race number 4 here on Green Flag TV. Just in time as we come back, Brendan Barr under fire. Ken Campbell round the outside of the EPI number 51. Campbell sweeps through to third. Campbell has had such a rough start to his season. He did finish in second last week at the Auto Club Speedway, but oh, hello, boy, a hit to the wall from Marr there, unintentionally, but you know, he had so much go wrong for him in his first race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's refreshing to see Campbell really stretching the pace of that car to its fullest potential. Well, the EPI teammates now are set to battle it out with one another here as Matt Press and Brendan Marr gonna go side by side to the back straightaway. Both cars power sliding and whoa, look out, Marr! What the heck happened there? Super loose down the back straightaway, gives up the spot, and now could be coming back under fire from Edwin Little. Matov was overtaken by both these guys earlier on and now could be looking to at least take one of those spots back, especially with Larry Yingling still in the fray as well. Meanwhile, Colin Savage trying to go around the outside, and man, something is wrong with Brendan Marr. That car wicked loose in turns 1 and 2. And he's able to gather it up. I think all the air being taken off of him may have spooked him just a bit as Latolf and Yingling gonna go side by side down the front straightaway, and now in a turn 1, Yingling into a top 5. Yingling trying to best his best finish, or at least match it. His best finish of the season so far came at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It was 4th. He needs to work out 1.2 seconds to Press if he wants to get the job done. And Brendan Marr forced to come to pit road, didn't have the fuel to go the distance. Devastating mistake from a driver that started on the front row of the race, and that could cost him his chances at finishing on the lead lap. Meanwhile, Smith, with just 6 laps to go, continues to log laps. Last race of July is, of course, what we're working right now. When we return, it'll be in August at the Chicagoland Speedway for another 167-lap race. It's 200 miles at Kansas, 200 miles at Michigan, and then our first Crown Jewel event, a 300-mile, 200-lap sprint at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on August 24th. To close out the month of August, and then we'll have a break for Labor Day before we return in September for the back half of the season. Whoa, Press! Sideways as he chases after Ken Campbell, trying to disrupt his run on going for a podium. Matt Press finished in 6th last week. He finished on 3rd the week before. And like Yingling is trying to match his best finish of the season so far. Brandon Burkhardt just up the road. Fastest lap for Brandon Marr out of pit road. So at least he'll take that reward, which I believe is worth 5 bonus points. Press going to look to the inside on Campbell. Trying to get through. Again, Marr the fast lap of the race. Campbell's into the fence. And that should do it. Behind, Larry Yingling looking to fight it out with Ken Campbell. Press is looking to match his best finish of the season. And well, with Press into that position, now Yingling trying to do the same as he tries to track through for 4th. Oh, look out! Brandon Burkhardt sideways on the back straightaway! This could be it! Hold on! No, it's not! Final lap of the race! White flag is in the air. We won't get a caution. But boy, near disaster for Aaron Smith's lead as Burkhardt spins, coming to the white flag. Campbell trying to fight back to retain a top 5. Aaron Smith out of turn 4. Smith wins his 2nd race of the season. But a fight for the last spot inside the top 5. Press will hang on for 3rd by half a second. Yingling for 4th. And there'll be no changes coming to the stripe. Boy, what a fight, though, in the final trip around. Unbelievable. Smith going to burn it down on the front straightaway this afternoon. The first repeat winner of the championship. I'm sure he is a very happy camper with that. Well, a while away to close out racing action here this afternoon, and we'll look set to take a rundown of your official post-race results here this afternoon after a barn burner here from the Texas Motor Speedway. Coming home, number 1, it's going to be Aaron Smith for the PT Autosport Yellow Vision number 70. Chuck Sweeting will come home in a respectable 2nd place, his first podium of the league as well. Matt Press, meanwhile, back in 3rd with Larry Yingling in 4th, Edwin Litolf in 5th, Ken Campbell in 6th, Daniel Moynihan in 7th. Sainz and Stitz will both round out the cars on the lead lap. Cameron Ingram was the last car that finished this race here on the lead lap. And from there, it's going to be the likes of Brandon Marr in 11th, Donald Castillo in 12th. Brandon Burkhardt will come home in number 12. And, well, from there, it's going to be a very, very solid effort for Colin Savage, who comes on the last car on the lead lap. Jonathan Evans, Matt Telder, and Jason Dalton, the lone drivers that did not finish racing action this afternoon. Well, we'll get the chance to take a rundown and talk to your top 3 drivers here this afternoon after a very tiring race and a hard-fought race to boot. Lots to talk about here at the end of the night, and we'll look to give a chit-chat here first and foremost to the likes of Aaron Smith. The PT Autosport machine comes home number 1, and Aaron, you take on as being the first repeat winner of the league. How does it feel?
It feels pretty good. I'll tell you what, though, that car was all over the place on the straightaways. I'm very happy I didn't wad myself up doing that.
You got caught out by strategy last week. We saw you putting in the clutch early on this time around, not wanting a repeat of what happened at the Auto Club Speedway last week. Then you got caught out with 2 back-to-back cautions. Was it ever a worry, or did that make it easier for you?
Well, I had enough fuel to make it on 2 stops. I was banking on that. I wasn't sure where I was going to stack up there with all the guys taking the 3-stopper, but I was looking forward to seeing how that would play out. But we got those cautions, as you said, and just got back in the rhythm about 30 laps into the run, and that was all she wrote.
Well, coming on up next week, it'll be the Chicagoland Speedway, one of iRacing's defunct NASCAR tracks, and one that, in my opinion, doesn't get nearly enough love that it deserves on iRacing. What's it take as we get set to go to the only 1.5 miles of the curved backstretch?
Yeah, I seem to have a pretty good track record at these 1.5 milers, so hopefully I'll be able to keep that streak alive, and hopefully there won't be any cheating Jimmy Johnson cars out there.
Well, who knows? We'll see how this one's going to pan out this afternoon, as we'll look set to take a trip down to Illinois next week, and we'll wish you the best of luck when we go racing once again.
10-4, thank you.
Aaron Smith brings it home with number 1 this afternoon. We'll bring on down Chuck Sweeting into the broadcast booth. Chuck, I believe, correct me if I'm probably wrong in this, but I believe your first podium in this championship, and in fact, I am correct, your first podium for the series. Now, you've got nearly 2,000 league starts on the service. You've been active here since, 2013 at least. Does that change how it feels to get a new podium in a new league?
No, it feels great. Anytime you can finish second to Aaron, that's a pretty good night. Yeah, that experience is what got me to the end of this thing and kept the tires on it. So it was a lot of fun, and it still means a lot every time.
So I am actually curious about this because I believe the old car of tomorrow was still in play back when you kind of first had your tenure here on iRacing. Is it like how it was when you last drove this car, or has it changed much since then?
It's pretty much the same. And I used to run open setup with it, so I could change it. But yeah, the grip's about the same, especially when you're at this old track like Texas. It's the same way I remember it anyway.
Well, so far, it's been a season, a bit of an up and down season so far, but do you reckon with that past knowledge with this car, you can put that to your advantage as we enter the meat of the championship so far?
I hope so. I've run well. I've just had the wrong strategy the last 2 races, and I didn't have to worry about that too much tonight, so I kept it pretty much the same thing Aaron was doing. I did tonight, and got me a good finish. So hopefully we can keep that going and into the next races.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck when we go racing next week at Chicagoland. In the meantime, congratulations on your first For the Boys Racing League podium, and we'll see if it's the first of many next week.
All right, thanks a lot. Have a great night.
Chuck Sweeting comes on number 2 this afternoon, and we'll bring down the EPI number 99 of Matt Press to close out the podium. Matt, a hard-fought fight for you this afternoon, up and down, up and down. At what point you were fighting for the lead? The back half of that race didn't seem to be going your way at first. Then the long-run pace kicked in, and you're able to pick off several cars in the back 20 laps of this one. Talk us through it.
I guess the theme is here, if I wipe out, I get a podium finish, so I'm gonna try to break that habit. But yeah, that caution, I thought I saw a hole, and I'm sure you saw it better than I did, but I guess that hole either closed or wasn't there. The second place car didn't take tires, so that whole line didn't take off very well, and I tried to shoot the gap, and I guess it closed. But I guess I got hungry after that and was smart about my race, and I was able to make the right choices, the right adjustments, and just slowly get back up there. Just, again, taking your time, don't kill your tires. A lot of guys were killing their right fronts, some guys were killing their right rears. I was pretty even across the board on my tires. Just trying not to get ahead of myself and get in too much a hurry to make up too many positions too fast. They kind of killed me on the first run. So yeah, I'm not sure where we're going next week, but hopefully we don't have the same result there. I can get a win and not wipe out to get there.
course, before factoring in drop weeks, you were within 15 of Aaron Smith's points lead. I think after factoring in drop weeks after tonight, you should still very well be within the top 5, if not the top 3. But Smith's a tough cookie to crack, as are some of the other drivers in this series. What do you think you're going to have to do if you want to pull away with the championship?
Just be consistent. Don't get in over my head. Don't try driving beyond my skills, and just get consistent finishes. Hope he has some bad days, and on his bad days, I'll capitalize.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Next week is the Chicagoland Speedway, so we'll hopefully talk to you again on the podium in Illinois.
Alrighty, thank you.
Matt Press comes home number 3 this afternoon, and well, that is going to be about all the time we're going to have for one afternoon. But boy, a wild race for sure here this afternoon, and still a long season ahead of us as well. Next week, it'll be the Chicagoland Speedway. Before we get to all of that, it's still weekly action here on Green Flag TV. High Tide Racing League is back for more at the Charlotte Motor Speedway tomorrow night on Monday. Omes Sorrell is out for road course racing at Road America. A triple header with the Global IndyCar Challenge, the Beer League, and the American Racing Sim Game Expo Truck Series on Wednesday. More action as well for AJ SRL in the Speed Cup Series. Bolt is back on Friday. SRA has their championship race at Michigan this coming Saturday at 7:55 p.m. Eastern Time. But then, of course, it is going to be the another trip out for not just... Oh, hold on. Sorry. We also got the VOR IndyCar Series kicking off as well this Saturday as well. Be sure to check that one out as well. And then, of course, we're back for more with both the Blazing Paddles ARCA Series and the For the Boys Racing League here on Sunday nights. Want to find out more about who we are, what we can offer you? Check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. We'll see you guys all next week, and we'll send you over to the final laps of the Blazing Paddles ARCA Series' marathon at Charlotte.